looks okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Hello. We are making some tote bags today. This one's a smaller version of what we're making because I cut this wrong. But it's just like a little tote bag. Super simple. This one has webbing straps, but hey, Susie Quilts. Oh my gosh, wait. Susan, did you update your name? I didn't even notice that. And we have French seams inside. So I changed my name. So you don't need to line it, and the inside is nice and finished. There's no raw edges in there. And yeah, so I'm gonna make two. The first one I'm gonna make is gonna have a webbing strap, and then we'll do one that has a self-made strap. I put some little stamps on here, and as a result, I'm gonna run some stamp button givvies today. So you can choose between stamps or buttons. Some like pretty classically unhinged buttons. I put in the show notes. It's okay. No, you don't need webbing. Well, I'll show you how to do it with like using a fabric to make a strap. But I'm going to start with this one because this is a little easier. I don't have to do that. But you don't need webbing. We're going to do it with fabric too. So this is what I'm using. This is a Figo. It's like very Escher-y. It's like birds, I guess. Hey, Stasa, how's it going? And I've cut these. I put in the show notes the dimensions. They're 18. I think. What did I say? 18. So basically, like take a half a yard of fabric and like cut it in half. It's like 18 by 20 or 22 or whatever it ends up being. And so the first thing we're going to do is get these straps on. Actually, the first thing we're going to do is run a givvy because it's fun. Start this givvy. Thank you very much. Hop in the givvy. I'll show you what givvies do. You can pick from some stamps, but we also have some fun buttons today. The first thing I'm going to do is get my straps ready. Yeah, thank you. I love this stuff. It feels it's like nice and sturdy. I mean, you could do this with upholstery fabric. Not home yet. Yep, we are recording, so we're good. And my cat's here, so don't even worry about that. So the first thing I'm going to do is take like whatever ends up being my top and fold down about an inch. This mat is not quite big enough for how big my fabric is. It's all right. We'll just do it in little bits. I'm like trying to do everything in one screen. Here, let me move this over. Hope everyone's having a lovely Thursday. I'm going to fold this down. I mean, I could measure an inch, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to press this down over an inch. Can you not eat whatever that is? Please don't eat that. It's not really that nice to eat things that aren't yours. What are you eating? What even is that? Oh, don't eat that. That's silly. Just eating some plastic. Very classic cat behavior. Yeah, so just pressing this down an inch. A little like uncoordinated in the tiny space. And then we're going to fold and press over 1 more inch. So this is just like a half a yard of fabric basically cut in half. It's really all you need. If you have webbing, you'll need just under 2 yards of webbing. And if you don't have webbing, you'll need like an extra 12 or so inches of fabric. Okay, so I've done this one. I'm going to do the same thing on my other piece. You stay here for a second. That's a hot iron. You're doing the top. So if you're fabric directional, just pay attention to that. But it should be this shorter end that you're pressing over. And I could be marking this or using a hot ruler or something like that, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it because it's a tote bag that I plan to like use, So you see a lot of my shoulder with this camera angle, but this is what I set up today, and I think it kind of works. My background's a little silly. I have this whiteboard or chalkboard here that has all my like ongoing projects so that I can keep track of everything. And then this over here, this is like a little bunny thing. We have a shop hop coming up. I live in Philadelphia. There's a mid-Atlantic shop hop coming up, and this little like bunny situation. If you're in the shop and you see the bunny and you post about it, it's kind of like an elf on the shelf. Like it changes position and all that stuff. You take a picture of it. You find it, you take a picture of it, and you get like entered into something to win. I don't know, but that's what that is. And I have to make an outfit for it. That's what that's why it's out. I don't have to make an outfit for it, but I think it'll be more fun if it has an outfit. All right, so we have our two pieces that have the top folded down an inch and then another inch. I'm gonna just start with one and put this one over here. Yeah, absolutely. I don't sew clothes, never mind tiny bunny clothes, but I want to like put it in drag because you get all sorts of people, you know, with the shop hop, it's like not our like normal clients, and some people are a little more conservative, and I want to put it in drag just to be like, yep, this is who we are. We're going to have this bunny in drag. And I don't know how to make a bunny a drag outfit, but I'm going to figure it out. Okay. And the fabric for the shop hop is like very American this year, and it's just like kind of not the vibe that yeah, I know. Oh my God. That's just so goals. Yeah, the fabric's really like American for the shop hop and like not our vibe. So I want to like really try to bring out the personality of the shop, which is fun. All right, I'm going to mark the center. This is just like a disappearing ink pen, but you probably wouldn't see it. Let me grab a little ruler. Uh-oh. My drawer is overflowing, so I couldn't open my other drawer. Yeah, Susan knows. I'm going to go about 3 inches out from that center mark and just make another mark here. Susan, did you see the shop hop fabric? It's very interesting. Who won? Stasa, do you want stamps or buttons? There's like a bunch of weird vintage buttons. You have to, I mean, no. Stamps, please. Absolutely. I've got some fun ones. Sorry, I'm like right in front of the camera. I've got like little hedgehog. He's cute. I've got this little watering can is really sweet. Where is my camera? Watering can. Popcorn. I don't know. These are just what's kind of hanging out. This is a chrysanthemum. Hedgie. All right, I'll pick a couple that go with hedgie. Yeah. Not super my vibe, but that's all right. Let me see. I didn't take anything out to label. Not that I need to label these gibbies, but I'll put a couple that go along with that stuff. So. Number 1. Okay. So, also in the button bag, look how freaky she is. What is this? I have no idea what this is. Who is she? Freaky button lady. So stay tuned for more kibbies because those are unhinged. All right. I have my center marked. I know I want to do funny things with a bunny. I want to put it in drag. Me too. I love that freaky button lady. And I have 3 inches marked from either side. Look at this fun webbing. Oh, she's a flapper. Whoa. I knew what you meant, Mateo Gras. That's funny. I knew I read it correctly the first time. That's cool. I had no idea. I'm gonna talk to my Mardi Gras friend about it. My like one friend in New Orleans. I'm gonna do 3 inches from either side. I have that mark that's 3 inches over. And I'm gonna, I think it actually goes this way. Because then it goes up. Yeah, okay. We're 3 inches over from the side here. Mardi Gras button. What do you do with her? Put it on your big Mardi Gras outfit. And I'm just going to clip this right on. I'm going to make sure that I don't twist this. And then 3 inches over here. We're just kind of flipping it under here. And going like this. So our strap is clipped in place, and now what I'm going to do is sew like right along these two folded edges, really, like right about an eighth of an inch away from the bottom folded edge, and then an inch and an eighth away from the top edge. I saw a lot of you in the Lisa Works show last night. That was pretty fun. It's fun to see. She's taught a few classes. Yeah, actually, you know what? I got to start with the bottom one, not the top one. She's taught a few classes where I work, and so I've gotten to meet her before. Hey, Bobby. How's it going? We are just getting started on this tote bag. I put the dimensions for the fabric that I've cut in the show notes. And I'll show you. I'm about to do this step twice, so you'll see it in just a second what I'm up to. And if you're worried about your needle breaking, just go nice and slow over that webbing or whatever strap you're using. Oh yeah, that's a little like origami kit. I don't know why I have it. This little origami kit. It's Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service. Hey, Desherie. So I sewed the bottom. I'm using a coordinating thread because it's nice and easy. And now, when I go to sew my next one, I'm gonna. This is like this. It's like facing down, and then I'm gonna flip it up like this, so that it's nice and straight. And I'm gonna clip that in place. And now that's definitely a lot of fabric you're about to be sewing over, so go nice and slow. I'm about to repeat this whole step on the other side, so just hang tight. If you're just popping in, hope everyone's having a nice Thursday. I don't like that size clip too wide. Clip this up like this. So it's just kind of like going up. So you can see it looks like a regular old strappy. I love this binding. I mean, what's the word for Jesus? Everything is like a being, right? Webbing. And I'm sewing right along the top here. Fear not, we'll be doing this again in just one moment. Nice and slow over that thick part, just so you don't snap a needle. Poke your eye out. All right, so I got one done. Here's what she looks like. Let me just scroll up my screen a little bit. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's what we expect a bag to look like, right? It's a half a bag. All right, we're gonna do this again on the other panel. So we have our piece of webbing, and if you don't have webbing, I'll show. We're gonna be doing this with fabric in just a second. This webbing, it's like 20. Yeah, I think it's about 26 inches. And then I have my piece of fabric here. We just had two pieces that were like 18 by 21. I guess they're fat quarter sized. If you have a canvas fat quarter, which is kind of unusual. And we just folded the top edge over an inch and then over another inch. And we press that. I'm gonna mark the center of this. Here's my little pen. There she is. We are making a tote bag where it's unlined, but it's French seams, so it's like nice and finished on the inside. You don't have to do any binding, you don't have to do any lining. I'm using a canvas. If you have an upholstery fabric, that works great. these panels, the dimensions are in the show notes, and all I've done so far is iron this top over, and I'm about to repeat what I did on the first panel on this side. So I just mark the center here, and I'm going to mark 3 inches out from the center on either side so that I know where to put my strappy. And I'm going to take my strappy and I'm going to clip it so that the inner edge, this inner edge is lined up with that mark I made. You want like whatever, if you have an outer facing part of it, you want that on the outside. And you're going to slip this in like this. Same on the other side, making sure we're not too twisted. Not twisted at all. This shouldn't be twisted. And the first thing I'm going to do is sew about an eighth of an inch away from this bottom folded edge. And then we're going to flip the straps up and then fold it, sew it from the top. So I'm going to start on my bottom edge. My stitch length is a little bit up. It's like 3.5 on my machine, but normally is at 2.2. And that's so that top stitching looks a little bit nice. It's nice to have a lined bag for sure, but if you are trying to get things done and out the door, an unlined bag with French seams is like a really nice way to get things just done. And you can make this pretty much any size. I'm looking into how to box the corners, and I'm not really sure how that works with French seams, but it's something I'm looking into. Alrighty. So this is sewed on. I'm going to clip it so that the webbing is coming up like this instead of facing down, so that I'll catch it in this next seam. Use 2 clips on either side. I'm going to run another gibby so we can look at some unhinged buttons if someone decides on that. And I feel like I've been winning a lot of gibbies recently, so I've got to pay it forward. Buttons or stamps today. All right, and I'm sewing just about an eighth of an inch away from the top here. And when I get to my webbing strap, I'm going to go nice and slow so I don't freak my machine out too much. I'm taking my clips off as I go. Maniac Maker told a really good tip, which is if you can see this curved edge should be facing down, it makes it a lot easier to open and pull right off rather than having the flat edge down. You have to like do a little more manipulating while you're sewing. So that's fun. She didn't teach me that. She said that in one of her tutorials. Like have private lessons with Maniac. That would be fun though. I wish I still lived in Maine. I could hang out with her. It is a good tip. I never heard that one before. Alright, I'm not back stitching because these are going to get eaten up in the next couple of seams. So yeah, this is what I've got. I'm not really worried about these straps too much, but what I could do is some extra, you know, you've seen on bags, like they do the box with the X in it there. I'm not really that concerned about these straps. I don't think they're going anywhere. They're sewn once at the bottom and twice up here. So I'm not going to do that. I think it ends up usually looking a little bit messier because I'm not that great of a top stitcher. So yeah, I'm not going to do that, but you're welcome to if you want. All right, hop in that gibby if you have not yet. All right, so I have my 2 panels, and we're going to start with them going right sides out, wrong sides together. And we're going to match this up as best we can here. I'm going to throw a few clips on here just to avoid things getting too freaky. No, they wouldn't get freaky. This is great fabric, and also the next fabric I'm going to be using is probably better. So I'm excited to show you guys. All right, I'm going to Do a couple clips on this side. Yeah, and with French seams, you start with things right sides together, which is a little bit strange. Or wrong sides together, right sides out. Feels a little odd, but that's where we start. Oh. That's all right. All right, so what I'm going to do is a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. No, not all the way around. We're obviously leaving the top of this bag open. So I'm going to start with just a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to bring my stitch length back down to its regular. Hey Bonnie, how's it going? All right. And then when I get to my corner, I'm just going to pivot. So I have my needle ending in the down position. Pivot. I'm just going to sew, sew all the way around. Well, three of the 4 sides around. I guess you can't see my sewing machine, but I guess you know what I'm doing. Probably you know how to sew. I don't know, maybe you don't, but probably you. If you don't know how to sew, I don't know if this is the. I mean, this is a really good beginner project, I think, but. Alright, and this is just a half yard of canvas. I think this might be a linen. I don't think this is truly okay. I'm a Janome person through and through. I just find them to be like really reliable and really easy to fix. I've been sewing on a Janome for a long time. This one's has like a computer screen on it, but oh, that's cute. It's very much just like a industrially machine. We're pulling a winner. Ooh, JLG. Are you Julie? Oh, I didn't know that, Susan. Oh, Susan, you have your massive machine too. Cool. I don't know why I knew that. Do you want buttons or stamps? Fabric stamps, to be clear. If you're not familiar with, okay, cool. I'll pull a few, and then you can just like name one you like, and then I'll pull a few more that look like that when I go to Pack My Gibby. We have chrysanthemum. Okay, let me try to get where I'm supposed to be. Have this little like retro situation here, little thing, another hedgy, little lemon, popcorn. Nice. Love that. The popcorns, oh, the ones in here are just popcorn, but some of the popcorns also have dogs on them. Jukies are really reliable. My mom's a Juki person. It's so hard when you first start out. You're like, what the heck am I supposed to get? If I was sewing regularly right now, and I had like my full cutting board here, I would be doing this with my rotary cutter, but I don't have space to do this right now. So I'm just going to trim this 1/4 of an inch seam allowance down a little bit to about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to use my shears because I don't have space, because I'm trying to be nice to you. This, I'll show you in a second. I have a lot of room on this machine, and I have been free motion quilting on it for a long time. I feel like I can really comfortably fit a twin in this machine. But that extra thread space is really nice. And I'm clipping my corners. Yeah, I don't have a lot of extras. I have like a few funky stitches, but I don't feel like I don't use them that often. Yes, Susan's machine is like, well, I guess, Susan, your machine isn't that big. The bag that your machine is toted around in is like the biggest thing in the world. But yeah, having extra third space is so nice. That's like, if you're trying to quilt in a long-term way, I would say that's really helpful. So I'm just trimming this down to about 1/8 of an inch just to get some of that bulk reduced. Not that 1/4 of an inch is bulk, but it's just what we do. The bag is so funny. You can fit like a sedan in that bag. A body, it's true. You could probably fit that in there. Trim, 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 trim. I'm gonna make sure my iron's on. I'm gonna flip it. And in terms of irons, I just do whatever is cheap. I love a fancy iron. Like, I love the idea of it, but I love my like cheap. My iron is heavy and cheap, and I love it. Yeah, if you're toting any bodies anytime soon. Oh, thanks for the raid. We are just hanging out and making a tote bag. I'll run a givey, and we're doing stamps and buttons today. But I'm not selling anything. We're just hanging out, very chill time. And we're making tote bags. Dimensions of these pieces are in the show notes. We attached our straps, and then we did we're using French seams. So we had things right sides out and did 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and I just trimmed it to about 1/8 of an inch. And now I'm gonna get all this crapola out of my way. I'm gonna flip this. Now I'm gonna flip this so that it's right sides together. I'm gonna poke these corners out. Let's see. I've got a knitting needle over here. So I'm just gonna poke these corners out a little bit. And I'm gonna press this. I think I've never been rated before. Maybe like once, but it's kind of funny. Like, sorry, I'm not selling anything. But maybe you just spent all your money in a show and you don't want to buy anything. All right, I'm gonna press all my edges that I just sewed out so that they're nice and crisp. I'm trying not to hit my phone with my iron or myself. Just kind of like get those seams as far out as you can. You know what I mean? Like, roll them out. I have such a small space. This is funny. My laptop is like right here. And my camera is here. Like, I'm very smooshed in. That's why I'm looking like I've never ironed anything in my life. I have a project, my next project that I'm working on, per my project board. I have like a half square triangle sampler going on. And I have like, I think it's 96. So a total of 192 half square triangles to make. It's going to be a half square triangle fiesta here. Hey Heather, how's it going? I know, I don't know why I do so many half square triangle projects, because you end up having to be so fussy with how they line up. But I'm not doing postcards. I am doing, I'll show you what I'm working on. keep everything in, like, if I can, keep them in little containers. I have this half square triangle sampler quilt. I like it. Swipe it. Oh my gosh, everyone's hanging out with me. Hop in the Givey if you're just coming in. I got, this is elastic. We're going to be, don't worry, we're going to do a second one. Don't even worry. Somebody made a donation of all these like really pretty woven situations. So that's what I'm doing this with. And then the linen. It's going to be wall hanging, probably. It matches my space in here. You can see my wall's yellow. I know. I don't know how I found. It was Missy. One of the Miss. I don't know. There's 2 Missies in our quilt world right now, so it's hard to keep track. That's cute. I didn't know that. Okay, so this is right sides together now. We have our seams kind of in there, and now I'm going to go around and sew everything with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Yeah, I like the yellow. It's like nice and bright in here, and I'm going to backstitch on this part. And this will probably eventually be a nursery. So I went with like a nice neutral so that I didn't have to like fully repaint it eventually. Right now it's my office and my sewing room, but eventually I think this is going to be nursery. I don't know where I'm going to sew, but we'll see. All right, Givey's running. Crimson Crafter. Crimson, we're doing buttons or stamps today. Bright pink. That's amazing. I love that. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I said this. 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Yeah, Heather, if you want stamps or buttons, fabric stamps or vintage buttons. What I've been having people do is pick, stamps, cool. So what I've been having people do is pick one stamp and then I'll pick a few more based on that. So we have fruit, owl, I don't keep pulling out a chrysanthemum one out, hedgie, books. This is rifle, books. Owl, cool. I have a couple of owls actually. Here, I'll put this other owl with it. Number 3. These are so easy to ship. That's like the best. These are the best Giveys. They're so easy to ship. All right, so I'm going around again with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Do you like owl because it's spooky, or do you like owls? Oh, I'm so glad. Those are so fun. They were really fun to make. This is the last seam, and then this is done. Can you believe that? I cannot. It's like a needle book, but it has pockets, so like you can put little bags of tea in them. Susan, I'll bring you one sometime. I made a bunch. I don't know if there's somewhere. I have this like one heap of whatnot. This one heap of like whatnot stuff. I'll pull one out for you. Exactly, travel tea. You have to like shove it in your ugly Ziploc. Backstitch because I got to the end. It's off. That's it. The picture in the Givey is I made this tote bag for a friend. Yeah, broken up in a bag. It's awful. I made this exact tote bag for a friend, but I had this Alexander Henry I wanted to use, so I just actually attached it to some upholstery fabric. That's what I did with that. So you can see a kind of like fancier version of this bag in the Gibby picture. Alrighty, I'm just using the knitting needle to poke these corners out. I'm gonna press my sides. Yeah, and they're fun for, like, you can throw gift cards in there too. If you need if you're giving a gift card and you want to give a little handmade goodie with it. I'm like reaching around this camera. Usually I set up the, like, with my camera facing towards my machine. It just, like, wasn't quite right today for some reason. I don't know. Just pressing these seams out. Thanks everyone for hanging out. It's 1,000 freaking degrees. I used to have a mini iron. I literally no idea where it is. Oh my god, that would be amazing. I think I got rid of it, so I don't know. Or maybe I gave it to someone as a gift. I try to get my friends started sewing, so I give away a lot of my stuff. And then I'm like, I don't know where this is. That would be nice. Let's do a swap, a little travel tea thing for an iron. That seems fair. Not at all. Yeah, a mini iron would be nice right now. And if you're using, just as a sidebar, if you're using an upholstery fabric and you don't know what the contents of it is, and there's a chance it's polyester, it might melt under a really hot iron. So, oh, well, good. I'm glad this is an enjoyable thing. All right, that's it. Our bag's done. We have our bag. It has straps on it, and I can't really hold it up very well. Our seams are nice and finished on the inside because they're French seams, so they're like nice and flat. Oh no, fire alarm! Well, I just finished a bag, but I'm going to start another bag, so don't even worry about that. Here, let me see if I can pull this back. And that's just like nice little tote. So, yeah, let's start another one. Bag number 2. The difference here we're going to do is we're going to make the straps. I just got hungry. I hate when that happens. I cut these pieces. I meant to cut them 6 inches and then I cut them bad. So I cut them 5 inches. So these are 5 inches and I'm going to cut them down to be around 26 inches. But I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to start by pressing it in half. This whole piece. Again, the dimensions are in the show notes, so don't stress too much. And this will be on YouTube. It's currently on YouTube. We're multicasting here, people. I have literally no idea if anyone ever watches on YouTube, but I know people have told me they watch back, which is really nice, but I don't know if anyone watches live on YouTube. Who knows? Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. All right, I'm going to cut this now before I forget. This is 24. And just make sure the other one's cut to about the same size. This is just like a linen I had hanging around in my stash. I'm going to make my straps out of. So I ironed it in half, I open it back up. I'm going to put the 2 ends in towards the center. This is probably going to take as long as it takes to make the actual bag. Except, I mean, I ran like a couple givvies. I talked to you guys a bunch, and that bag took like a half hour. Oh no. That's annoying. Yeah, mini iron would be really nice. Right about now. Susan, bring me your mini iron. Just kidding. Anyone have any fun plans this weekend? I don't. Yeah, me too. Have much going on this weekend, but Monday I'm taking a day off and I'm going to an amusement park because I thought it might be less crowded on a Monday. From the Zon. I'm a big roller coaster person. I mean, ooh, camping. I hope the weather's looking nice in your area if you're camping. One of my friends left for camping today and it looks like it's going to be a little rainy around here. Hot and then rainy, which is like a camping nightmare in my opinion, but. Oh, you like when it rains when you're camping? All right. This is all set. I really stopped. I'll be sewing. Well, that's good. I was talking and not telling you what I was doing, but you get the idea. I'll talk about this through again. Less people. Okay, well, if you're in Washington, yeah, I feel like you could expect rain at all times. Well, hopefully it's not too hot then. That's not fun for camping, I think. Well, I don't know. People like all different stuff. It is. Yeah, hopefully I get some of my house square triangles done this weekend of my 100 billion. Oh, geez. I think I had a tiny power outage Tuesday too. Just like flickered. Oh, the humidity's awful. I'm going to cut this one down to the same size as the other one before I go for the whole thing. Beach walk. Beachy bean on the beach. A revelation. Just kidding. Beach sounds really nice. What kind of crazy? Hot, cold, rainy, thunder, hail? Sewing and beach. At least you're consistent. It's nice to have a brand. Crazy storms and nasty humidity. Gross. The worst things. We have like a air quality alert today, so I haven't left the house yet, which is really unusual. My wife did the dog walk this morning before the air quality got dangerous, but yeah, that's nice. Beach sewing. I might do something that's like not a tutorial, but maybe like I'm just going to show you my process of landscape quilts. And that might be fun for the beach inclined. Ooh. That sounds good, Dictionary. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my Juneteenth. It's like a good day to do. Well, if you're a white person, it's a good day to do like an act of service if you can. We have a lot of like community fridges around us, so it might be a good day to like clean out, volunteer to clean one out or something. Julie, have you been on this app for a while? Almost a month. I feel like I became aware of you like last week. But I also I slowed down a little bit going to shows for a couple weeks because I was spending too much classic. All right, I'm gonna change my thread color to go with this lighter color I have because I have black in there right now. You guys haven't even seen my fabric for this tote. It's the best one. Let's needle up. She makes her room fun. That's nice. What did I say about me? All right, I'm going to top stitch these guys about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. Either edge, both edges. A little less than a scant 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, I like constantly have Whatnot on. Well, a lot of days I constantly have Whatnot on, and I typically have it on mute. So I like tune in. It's the ADHD because I like. That's true. Everyone gets really excited. I feel like I'm warmly welcomed. It's really nice. It's the ADHD. Like I have to have 1,000 things going on, and I can't like give my full attention to everything. See, it's the ADHD. So I'm like usually watching TV and have Whatnot on mute, and then like I'll tune in for a second and have something to say, or I'll like spy something I deeply want and drag up the price probably. Oh, does anyone know who was looking for olive fabric? I feel like there was somebody who was like very vocally looking for olive fabric like a couple months ago. Was that anyone that's here? Oh my god. Can you imagine like having the energy to like hate Tara? That's crazy. Like imagine just like having the energy in your life. Yeah, I'm not up for that. So if you don't have webbing, this is how you make straps. If you don't want to find webbing and you have a lot of fabric, which I know you do, we just have these pieces that were 5 inches or 6 inches folded like you fold things, and then I'm just top stitching. And these are 26 by 5. It's way too much work to hate something or someone. I like passively don't like people, but I don't actively like go about doing something about it. That's so much work. Yeah, I know you have a lot of fabric. Because I have a lot of fabric. You could do this with the same fabric you're making your tote bag with. I just ran out. Yeah. That's way too much work to hate someone. Just a couple pieces of fabric. I am finally having this experience where like I'll think about a line that I don't have in my collection anymore and I feel sad and I'm like shit. And like you can't get it. I feel like sad about it. There was this line, a Figo line a few years ago that has like figs on it and I feel very sad I don't have any of it. Hopefully you can find it on Whatnot. All right, my straps are done now. I'm just going to trim these edges because they kind of came a little wonky in the end. All right, are you guys ready to see what we're making for a tote bag this time? Mauve fabric. Oh, that's nice. Do you like mauve? Is it mauve? Mauve? I don't care. Don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know. That's not what I need in my brain space. Ready? We're doing these cats in a tote bag. So cute. I know what it is. I don't want to know how to pronounce it. I got this from Community Quilters, and I did a personal bag with it. I do too. And I was like, well, it's time to use this for this. How could you not enjoy, like, you gotta bring the energy, you guys. That's really what this is all about. We're just here to be social. Okay, we're gonna start again. We have two pieces of I'm gonna start again like we haven't talked about this before. Oh, that's so cute on their little heads. You know when like you wrap up someone's head in like a piece of fabric, not fabric or like a towel or something? Um, I was at my friend's house the other day and she has a baby, and I put like a piece of fabric or whatever, something, I wrapped his head up so it looked like a nun's habit kind of. And they have this thing where whenever that happens, they call it, like, if it was me, my name's Catherine, you would call me Sister Mary Catherine, and so his name's Sebastian. They called him Sister Mary Sebastian. I thought it was the cutest thing in the world. But your cat would look like Sister Mary Cat. All right, I'm gonna eyeball this. It's about an inch down. I'm gonna fold and press about an inch down from the top edge. Sister Mary Cat. This is where tiny iron would be really helpful. Susan hasn't figured out how to teleport to me yet. Oh, that's cute. Why did you color that? That's like really unhinged. Then I'm folding down another inch or so. Inch-ish. I love that. So this is folded. I'm actually going to do all the steps at once in case someone kind of tunes out and then tunes back in. Relatable. So I ironed this down an inch and then another inch. Biscuit. Oh, that's cute. Becky Bartholomew, Biscuit. I'm going to fold this in half. I have my two 1-inch folds at the top. It's kind of like where we're going to be tucking in our strappies. I'm just kind of like trying to get a little bit of a crease here so I know where my center is. I'm going to take my marking pen. I'm going to mark my center. I think that was where that was. Want to know the craziest thing that happened to me this week? Obviously, this was yesterday. I live in the city and I walked to the beer store. I'm marking 3 inches in on this side because I wanted a beer last night. And so I get into the beer store and I bring my dog with me because I know he's allowed in. And he's 10 pounds and he doesn't like say anything or do anything at any time. If I carry my dog into the store, he just like, I don't know, he like gets lobotomized all of a sudden. He like doesn't like talk or move or anything. I'm lining up the outer edge here, or the inner edge with, yeah, he doesn't like bark. No, like if I carry him, if he's on a leash, he's like all over the place. And if he's like in my arms, he's like, okay. I'm putting this, I feel like I need to talk about two things at once. I'm lining this up with a 3-inch mark. Okay. And so we're in the beer store, and the beer store guy, there's me, and then there's one other guy with his son in there. He's like a little guy, like a little son. And they're like talking, the beer store guy, and I'm going to call him the fire chief because that's what I found out he was. He's fire chief. And the beer store guy was like having the fire chief get stuff out of his car, like out of the beer store guy's car. And they were like talking and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like ready to check out. And then it was cash only for some reason. And then he like looked at me and then looked at the dog and like looked at me and looked at the dog and was like kind of awkward. I think he might have been high. And it was like this really weird interaction. And then he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We're cash only right now. And then it was like this whole weird interaction. And then he was like, do you drink coffee? And I was like, well, yeah. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you some coffee. And so he like takes me to his car, which I will say is right in front of the store. It was not like a back alley situation. And he hands me, he like out of the back of his car, he gives me 4 pounds of La Colombe coffee, which is like $12 a pound. So this is like $50 of coffee. And he just like gave it to me. I was like, thank you. And I guess he works for La Colombe and doesn't drink coffee, and he just gave me, but I don't feel like I deserved it. Like he didn't do anything that made me feel like I needed to have received that. It was just really bizarre. Anyway, it was just a really weird day. And now I have 4 pounds, like $50 of coffee. Seriously. I'm going to be sewing along the bottom edge really quickly. Put an 1/8 of an inch away from the fold. It was a really weird situation. I came home with like a 4-pack of beer and like 4 pounds of coffee. Well, it's fully sealed. So the La Colombe roastery is, not to like triangulate myself here, but just like a few blocks from me. So like I guess he works there. It's like his other job. And it's all like sealed. So it kind of makes sense and like a little bit of sense, but not like a ton of sense. I like don't. But why did he have so much coffee? I don't know. All right, I did this. I'm gonna clip these strappies up like this before I do one more set of stitching, which will be along the top edge there. Stolen goods. No, he was like, they give me all this coffee. I feel like if it was stolen, he'd try to like sell it to me. I probably would have bought it from him, honestly, for like, I don't know, some amount of money. It was really bizarre. That's nice. See, that's a good connection. I gotta keep going to this beer store, is really the takeaway here. All right, I'm just gonna sew along this top edge now that my straps are facing up. Alrighty. All right, so this first one's all set. I'm gonna do the same exact situation with the other one. Again, if you're worried about your straps, you could do a little like X situation here, but I'm not worried about them because it's not gonna be like for a watermelon or anything. It's just gonna hold some stuff. And I think it would look bad if I tried to do that. All right, panel number 2. Gosh, I wish my pressing mat was like a tiny bit bigger today. I just can't figure out what part of that story is relevant. You know, like, is the police chief or the fire chief part relevant? Is that part of like what just happened? Is my dog being there relevant? I really can't figure out what part of the story leads me to receiving $50 worth of free coffee. So that's why I had to give you so many details, because maybe you know something I don't. I don't know what happened. I think he gave the fire chief a bunch of free coffee, which makes sense. Like he can, bring it to the fire station and like share it. Hashtag mega rega. Alrighty. I'm going to mark or fold to the halfway point here. I have a scrap bundle I've been trying to give to Megra for a long time, and I told her I'd run it for $1 in the show. But she hasn't been coming to my shows. They're not a convenient time for her. I have a very mega bundle. All right, I marked 3 inches on either side from that center point. Mega rega. She doesn't have notifications turned on her whatnot. I'm lining up the inside of the strap with that 3-inch mark. I hate when it does that. It makes you look like a freaking psychopath. I hate when that happens. All right, I'm gonna sew right along this folded edge on the bottom first. It's not wrong. I get that. Alrighty, and now I'm gonna flip my straps up, clip them in place. Clip, clip. I'm just gonna sew it so we catch these straps this time. I posted in the Facebook group. I think I'm interested in my next bunch of shows being embroidery sampler situation. There's a free sampler pattern that I linked to in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, first of all, you should be. Second of all, I'm happy to just send you the link for it. And I think like weekly or so, we'll just go through like 1 or 2 stitches because I'm kind of running out of project ideas. And unless you come up with a project idea, I'm happy to do. I do want to do scrunchies because I got Diana's Fabric Cottage freaky giveaway and I want to make scrunchies out of it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we should do that little series for the summer. It'd be nice and chill. All right, so this one is on with the strap. This one is on with the strap. And then we're going to put them wrong sides together and do that first seam. Here's the deal. I'm going to do a little bit of a lazy corner cutting situation, and I'm just going to sew about 1/8 of an inch. Oh, nice. I'm glad to hear that. If you get stuck, let me know. I'm happy to help. I know I'm obsessed with this fabric. I wish I had my little bag up here, but I made a little crossbody bag with it too. I'm clipping this wrong sides together to start. And I'm just gonna, I think for this one, because I don't have like a great trimming situation set up here, I'm just gonna sew 1/8 of an inch around. I did that with one before. You just have to make sure you don't miss any of the miss any of the layers, but it's not too bad. That's why I'm gonna put a few extra clips in this one. And by a few extra clips, I mean I have no idea where my clips are. I guess I could use pins. All right, I'll clip bead. Isn't it so cute? We're making a tote bag today. We just made one. I'll show you what it looks like. here's the tote bag we just made. Hello. And then we're just starting the French seam part of this one. So to make French seams, Logan, you do a first seam that's with your wrong sides together, and then you flip it right sides together, and you do another seam, and then your inside's all finished. You don't even have to line anything. It's amazing. Yeah, the goggles are so good. I love how like freaky we just end up looking. Oh my god, it's a party here. Terry's here. Everyone's here. Lolly is here. What is happening? Everyone, hello. Wee. French seams. Aw. Well, we're making a really cute bag, so everyone's just here to hang out with me, and that's really nice. Oops, I forgot to put my stitch length back down. Whoops. That's all right. Yeah, everyone should be working, probably. Oops. I looked at the screen, and I looked away, and I sewed off the side. Classic. Okay. I will address the chat in one moment. I'm trying to do an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Kitty's on bikes. That's cute. Logan, you used to be famous for being a mod, and now you're famous for goggles. Alright, one more little seam here. Now they're off just a little bit. It's alright. This is recorded. Oh my gosh, it's on YouTube. Do not worry. Alright. I went around with this right side's facing out, and I just did an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. You could do less than an 1/8 of an inch and then trim it down, but I obviously don't have any space to trim right now. Now I'm going to turn this inside out. I'm going to use my little knitting needle to poke my corners out. Boop, 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 boop. There's so many friends here. I'm going to run a giveaway. You can do stamps or buttons. Fabric stamps or buttons. We have some unhinged buttons today, so don't sleep on the buttons. All right. Oh, Logan, you can see my little like Kiki's delivery service origamis up there. So I'm just poking my corners out here. Aw, cute. I love that. We love a vintagey vibe. First Studio Ghibli I watched was Spirited Away. It's so cute. Kiki is so cute. I know, if there was only a studio, maybe we could do it. We could all go on a custom order of some Studio Ghibli fabric. That would be fun. Oh, I haven't seen that one. I'll watch that. I'm just pressing that seam that I just made. Oh, Howl's a good one too. Just for everyone who's coming in now, I have a little teeny tiny ironing space and big iron and, you know, medium sized bag. I think My Neighbor Totoro is my favorite though. It makes me like feel the best when I watch it. I feel happiest when I'm watching Totoro compared to most other things. Ooh, that's a good idea. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. The answer to that, Logan, is absolutely. It's not the same. I agree. It's like a totally different vibe, but I also like the vibe. The like pastorally, like very slow paced situation, very family based, not so like super, I don't know. Oh yeah, thanks, Susan. I don't know what the answer to that is yet. I'm hoping this weekend because it's the 3rd birthday party. All right, somehow I got this. No. That sounds cool. All right, so I have this is all pressed. I'm just going to go around this, like kind of, yeah, the 3 seams here with a 3/8 inch seam allowance to really get those 1/8 I did all tucked in. I am going to backstitch at the top here. Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to see that. Yeah, the Totoro embroidery was really fun and simple, but like very line drawing. Oh, random Ghibli projects. I've been thinking about, so I did recently a landscape that I really liked. It was for a friend, and there was like a little applique piece of a house where they stayed. So it was like had like a little recognizable part with like kind of an abstract landscape. And I've been trying to think of like other landscapes to do and doing. I do a lot of hand embroidery. I do. And doing some like Studio Ghibli landscapes with like Howl's Moving Castle on it or something would be really cool. Wow, I love this idea. Okay. Great. Thanks, everybody. I've been like really sitting on this. Winner, 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 winner. Hey, Cherie. What do you want? Do you want stamps or buttons? What'd Terry say? Yeah, I really want to do landscapes. They're like the most enjoyable for me. Buttons. Okay, I'm gonna show you buttons in a second because this bag is done. I'm gonna run this bag too. I don't need this in my life. I'm gonna run it as a gibby. Let me just change the weight on this last gibby. Having so much fun. You guys deserve it. isn't QuiltCon in your neck of the woods? You're North Carolina, right? Logan? Hold on. I'm going to, I have to edit this really quickly. Bag. Can I fix this? That's all right. I want to go. I know that would be so cute. Okay. Okay. I'm going to run this bag. Hop in here. Some people like this fabric. I already have a bag with this fabric. I don't need more. If you don't want to use it as a bag, you can just cut it up and you'll have 2 fat quarters. So that's exciting. Ooh, Houston Quilt Market. The last thing to do on this is just press it and get the little stringies out. Aww. That's so sweet. Thank you, Logan. That was really unnecessary. Thank you. I'm glad I ran this then. So this is what's running as the Gibby. And if you don't want a bag out of it, you can cut it up and you basically have 2 fat quarters of this fabric. Desherie. Do you want the freaky face lady? We also have some of these little squares. That would be wild. Airbnb of all the whatnotters. These are for Desherie. If you see anything you like, let me know. Okay. Sure. Okay, wait. Do you like free? You got to pick between the 2, and then I'll pick a few to go with it. Freaky face lady, or these aren't buttons. I don't really know what they are. Or it's like, okay, so freaky face lady or horse and carriage. And then I'll pick something to go with it. Okay, face lady. All right. I'll get a few coordinating little guys in there. Lovely. That's number 4. All right, I'm going to press this. Oops. I guess that's fine. I guess we're done sewing. That's fine. Sure. I guess she's a Mardi Gras lady. Yeah, sure. Ask away. I have no idea. It does look like coca. Let me see if I can find the salvage. Okay, I have a piece of salvage that doesn't have anything on it. Someone's got a screenshot it for Logan. I have this little bit that says Vinberry. The Frida Susie Sue's is Alexander Henry. A tube bag. Sevenberry. I don't know what a tube bag is. Do I circle? 1 long rectangle, pre-sew, and a tube for a drawstring. I've never made a tube bag before. Sleeping bag. Okay, if someone can help Julie, I feel like my eyes are crossing. Sevenberry. I got it from Community Quilters. You could see if they have any more, because they usually have a bunch of what they have. If you know what I mean. I would have to get a second suitcase to go to Japan just for fabric. For sure. All right, let's press this. Yeah, Japanese fabric's always the best. Always the best. Some patterns are not written by people who want you to understand. Okay, 30 seconds on the Givey. It's for this bag, which you can cut into 2 fat quarters if you don't want the bag. I would not be offended. Do whatever you want. This was just for the sake of. Logan just got muted for. I don't think I can say that word, Logan, to be honest. You can say it if you want, but I don't think that's a term that I'm allowed to use as a white person. Yeah, you can use it if you want. Logan got muted for saying that word. Okay, well, it's running. Let's see. Clairvoyant ghost? Clairvoyant ghost? You are a ghost. That's such a good name. I hope you like the bag. Very cute fabric. That's all done. That'll come to you. We have a couple Gibbies going out. I'm trying to think. Next week I was gonna do like bunting that you can hang in. Yeah, get Julie, get Logan, get Julie, Logan, get that together. I was gonna do those kind of like buntings that you can hang, because I know 4th of July is coming up and people like doing buntings for 4th of July. I've literally never done this before though, so I don't know what you need or want or should get. I think that, and then I'll start putting out embroidery shows. I think that would be nice. So yeah, that's really all I have going on. Let's get a raid going. Thank you so much for hanging out. I wish I could stay on long enough to get to Lexi's show, but I cannot. Let's create a raid. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is really nice. Oh, Al Cortez is live. Let's go see what she's up to. Linens and lace. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. See you next week.